You know those year-end updates we all get from companies? Most of the time, they're just a list of new features. But every once in a while, one is different. It's more than a list, it's a blueprint. Today, we're going to dig into a letter from a company called Help You Sponsor, and we're looking at it as this fascinating case study in what it really means to build in partnership with your users. Okay, this one sentence, this is the core of our entire explainer today. It just completely flips the script. Instead of a company saying, hey, here's what we built for you, it says, here's what we all built together. And that frames a totally different kind of relationship between a product and the people who rely on it every day. So you might be wondering, okay, that sounds great, but what does it actually look like in the real world? Well, the features we're about to break down aren't just product updates. Think of them as direct answers to that very question. Every single one was born from a real-world challenge that a nonprofit was facing. To really get this, we have to kind of reframe the whole relationship. This isn't just about a company and its clients. It's more like two groups becoming a single team, turning direct feedback and, daily frustrations into real working solutions. So let's take a look at the actual problems they were trying to solve. But before we can get to the solutions, we have to understand the problem. For so many nonprofits, the reality is, well, it's organized chaos. You've got crucial information spread all over the place, the team is stretched incredibly thin, and every single hour they spend wrestling with spreadsheets is an hour they can't spend on their actual mission. The stakes are just incredibly high. So how do you even start to fix these problems? Well, the first step is always to tackle the foundation. And in this case, that means transforming that chaos of scattered data into genuine clarity, so teams can finally see the whole picture without all that manual grunt work. What I love about this is how you can draw a straight line from the problem to the solution. Manually running the same report every single week? Boom, now you've got scheduled reports. But the real game changer here is households and unified giving views. Before this, a nonprofit might see a donation from one spouse and another from their partner as two completely separate things. Now they see the family's total generosity all in context. That's not just a data point. It's the kind of deep understanding that builds better relationships. Okay, so once you can finally see your data clearly, what's the next logical step? Well, it's being able to act on it faster. This next set of features is all about boosting efficiency and automating those routine tasks that can really bog a team down. This right here is like a perfect cycle of efficiency. Just imagine this. Data from an event sign-up form flows in seamlessly, no more manual data entry. Need to update 100 records at once? You can do it all in a flash with bulk updates. And then, when you need to find that one specific piece of information, advanced search gets you the answer instantly. Each step is just designed to remove a bottleneck. So this tackles a classic dilemma. How do you communicate with a lot of people without sounding like a robot? The solution here is a really smart two-part answer. You get the power of automation with things like visual emails and newsletters, but you also get the tools for personal connection, like email tracking, to make sure the message still feels intentional and human. It's all about getting both efficiency and a genuine touch. We've covered how this helps the nonprofit's internal workflow. But what about their most important partners, the donors? This next section is all about how that same spirit of collaboration made the entire process of giving way smoother, easier, and more transparent for them. If you want a perfect example of removing friction, this is it. One-click tax summaries. For any donor, gathering all your documents for tax season can be a huge headache. This feature just solves that annual pain point with a single click. It's a small thing, sure, but it shows a deep respect for the donor's time and effort. But they didn't stop there. This partnership also delivered more payment options to give donors flexibility, introduced charge consolidation to reduce fees, which is huge because it means more of every donation goes to the actual mission, and cleaned up all the back-end syncing for total clarity. Every one of these updates is designed to empower the donor and build trust. So after you've solved these huge foundational issues of data clarity, efficiency, and the donor experience, where does a partnership like this go next? Well, the focus starts to shift from solving immediate problems to tackling bigger, more advanced strategic challenges. And this is the next evolution. Wealth Insights isn't about just collecting more data. It's about enabling smarter, more empathetic conversations. It helps a nonprofit understand a supporter's philanthropic interests and capacity, moving fundraising away from just guesswork and toward relationships built on real, genuine understanding. All right, let's zoom out for a minute. We've seen a bunch of specific features, but what's the real blueprint here?
What's the core lesson from this whole case study that could apply well beyond just this one company or industry? The crucial point is this. None of these solutions were dreamed up in a vacuum. They came from actual nonprofits saying, you know what? This is hard, or this takes way too much time. This continuous feedback loop where you listen, you build, you improve, and then you listen again, that is the real engine that drives meaningful innovation. The letter actually ends with this quote, and it feels like the perfect way to tie everything together. It connects the day-to-day work of building software directly to the higher purpose of the missions these nonprofits serve. It's a powerful reminder that if you keep at it, persistence in doing good work, whether that's in code or in the community, eventually pays off.
And that really leaves us with one final question. This explainer focused on the nonprofit world, but the principle is universal. Just imagine the tools, the systems, and the solutions we could create in any field if every single user was treated not just as a customer, but as a genuine partner. What could we achieve then?